He walked into the kitchen, reached for the kettle, and collapsed. Just like that. No warning, no time to call for help. His wife found him 10 minutes later, eyes open, breath gone. They said it was his heart, but do you know what started it? Blocked lungs, thick, sticky mucus, slowly building up for years, choking him from the inside, and he didn't even know. No cough, no fever, just a little wheeze in the mornings. And he thought, it's just age, it'll pass. It didn't. You think lungs only matter when you're sick? Wrong. Your lungs are working right now, even as you sit, even as you sleep. Even when you're resting, your lungs are never resting. But here's the part nobody tells you. As we get older, the lungs slow down. The cilia, tiny little brooms that sweep out mucus, they get sluggish. The mucus gets thicker. And if you don't do something, it stays there, rotting, feeding bacteria, blocking oxygen. Ever woken up with a heavy chest? Coughed up something strange? Felt like your breath was just short for no reason? That's not just aging. That's your body begging for help. Now here's the kicker. There are foods, real, natural, everyday foods, that act like expecto patronum for your lungs. They loosen the gunk. They open up the airways. They help your lungs breathe like it's spring again. But no one talks about them. Why? Because they're too simple, too cheap. No one's making money off garlic and pineapple. And yet, they work. I'll tell you what they are. But first, let me introduce you to someone. He's 64, retired mechanic, smoked for 30 years, and he almost died from a cup of coffee. Not because of caffeine, because he didn't know what was hiding in his lungs, until one morning, he coughed. And what came out? He'd never seen anything like it. Thick, dark, heavy. And that was just the beginning. His name is Walter, lives just outside Phoenix. Dry air, long roads, big skies, worked with his hands his whole life. Engines, tools, grease under the fingernails. The kind of man who doesn't complain, who shrugs off pain and says, I'm fine, just tired. But he wasn't fine. It started with mornings. Hard to get up. He'd sit on the edge of the bed, just breathing, like climbing stairs, even though he hadn't moved yet. Probably my back, he thought. Maybe I'm just out of shape. Then came the cough. Small at first, dry, annoying, like a pebble in your shoe, easy to ignore. But weeks passed, then months. And the cough, it didn't leave. His daughter noticed before he did. Said, Dad, why are you always clearing your throat? He waved it off. Must be allergies. Then one morning, he poured his coffee, took one sip, and choked. Couldn't catch his breath. Coughed so hard, his ribs hurt. What came up? Something thick, yellow, with streaks of gray. That's when fear set in. Not because of the color, but because deep down, he knew something was wrong. He went to the doctor. Scans, tests, they didn't find cancer, but they found congestion. A lot of it. Doctor asked, Do you smoke? Walter nodded. Quit 5 years ago? The doc sighed. Your lungs didn't. Turns out, even years after quitting, damage stays, and mucus builds, quietly, like dust behind a closet door. They offered him inhalers, steroids, but Walter's not the kind to live on pills. He wanted something real, something he could do, every day, without waiting on a prescription. That's when he met Arturo. Neighbor, same age, used to have asthma. Now jogs every morning. No wheeze, no meds. Walter asked, What's your secret? Arturo grinned. It's not a secret, it's breakfast. He handed Walter a list. Foods, spices, one strange-looking drink. Said, Give it a week. Just try it. Walter did. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, still coughing. But day 3, he coughed up something so foul he almost threw it away in the backyard. Didn't want it in the house. But he felt better, lighter. His chest didn't burn when he walked to the mailbox. By the end of the week, the cough changed. It cleared. The mornings weren't a battle anymore, and the strange part? It wasn't just his lungs. His energy came back. His skin looked better. He said, It's like my body can finally breathe again. What was in that drink? It wasn't magic, it was food, real food with names you know and powers you've never used. Let me show you why it works and how it can work for you. Imagine your lungs as a forest. Each breath, a gust of wind through tall trees. Clean air goes in, carbon dioxide goes out. But when that forest fills with fog, sticky, heavy, suffocating, the wind can't move. The trees bend, the forest chokes. That fog is mucus. Now, mucus isn't the villain. Your lungs need it. It traps dust, smoke, bacteria, keeps your airways moist, protected. But here's the catch. It's supposed to move. Tiny hair-like structures, called cilia, sweep that mucus upward out of your lungs, like escalators pushing gunk away from danger. But as we age, those cilia slow down. They stiffen. They get tired, especially if you've smoked, or lived in a city, or had repeated colds, allergies, heartburn, even that. So the mucus stays, thickens, sinks deep into the lungs, becomes a swamp, and swamps attract problems. Bacteria love it. Fungus thrives in it. Inflammation flares. That's when the cough begins, but by then, it's already clogged. Now, here's the beautiful part. There are natural expectorants, foods that loosen mucus, break it down, help the cilia wake up, move again. How? Some foods are mucolytic. They contain compounds that break apart the bonds in mucus, like scissors snipping through a sticky net. Others are anti-inflammatory, calming the irritated tissues around your airways so your lungs don't overreact. And some, they're antimicrobial, killing the germs that feed on old mucus. Take pineapple, for example. Not just sweet. It contains bromelain, an enzyme that thins mucus and reduces swelling in the lungs. It's like pouring warm water on frozen pipes. Or garlic, the smelly miracle, packed with allicin, which fights off bacteria and clears sinuses like a breath of fire. Ginger warms the body, expands the airways, and helps circulation, so your lungs get more oxygen with every inhale. And honey? Not just a throat soother. It coats the airways, reduces irritation, and has gentle antimicrobial action, especially when it's raw and local. These aren't pills. They're not side effect traps. They're tools. Ancient, powerful, ignored. Your body wants to heal. It just needs a little help, a little warmth, a little motion, a few right choices, made consistently. Walter's drink? It combined 3 of those ingredients every morning. Empty stomach, not because it's trendy, because it works. The mucus starts to move. The cough shifts from dry and useless to productive and clearing. And once that swamp begins to drain, the forest can finally breathe again. This isn't a theory. It's biology. And it's waiting in your kitchen. 1. The morning drink that unstuck Walter's chest. Walter used to start his day with coffee and toast. Now, he starts with a strange, spicy glass that smells like a campfire. And, he swears, it cleared more junk from my lungs than a whole bottle of syrupy cough medicine. What's in it? Warm water, a tablespoon of raw honey, a slice of fresh ginger, grated, a squeeze of lemon, and the secret, a pinch of cayenne pepper. Sounds intense? That's the point. Ginger and cayenne stimulate circulation. They heat you up from the inside. Honey soothes the throat and helps the mucus slide out. Lemon cuts through the thickness. And warm water? It's the highway. It gets everything moving. Walter said the first time he tried it, he coughed for 5 minutes straight, but not from irritation. From release, like his lungs had been waiting for permission. You don't need fancy equipment, just hot water, a mug, and 5 minutes. Do it before breakfast, on an empty stomach, and let your lungs start the day lighter. 2. The soup trick that ended Linda's afternoon cough. Linda's 72. Sweet lady, volunteers at her church, but every afternoon, like clockwork, 3:00 p.m., she'd get this dry, tickling cough. Lasted for years. She tried lozenges, teas, even prescription sprays. Nothing helped. Then someone told her about onion soup, not the creamy kind, not store-bought, simple, homemade. She didn't believe it, but she made it anyway. Here's what she used: 1 large yellow onion, sliced, 2 cloves of garlic, crushed, a teaspoon of turmeric, a handful of thyme, water or light vegetable broth, simmered for 30 minutes. That night, she drank a bowl like tea, did the same the next day, and on day 3, no cough, gone. What happened? Onions contain quercetin, a natural antihistamine that soothes inflammation. Garlic clears mucus and kills germs. Thyme? It's a bronchial relaxer, used for centuries. Linda called it my breathing soup. She keeps frozen portions in her freezer now, just in case. Sometimes the medicine isn't in a bottle. It's in a pot on your stove. Moo. 3. The walk that made John stop wheezing. John didn't want a diet, didn't want drinks or recipes. He just wanted to stop feeling like he was breathing through a straw every time he took out the trash. His doctor gave him an inhaler. It helped for an hour. Then the tightness came back, so he asked a neighbor, a retired PE teacher, what to do. She said, "Breathe with your legs." What? She meant walk, but in a very specific way. Every morning before breakfast, John started walking just 5 minutes. Slowly. Not fast, not a workout, just breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, step, step, breath, step. Why? Because walking, especially in the morning air, triggers deep breathing. It expands the lungs, opens the chest, pushes stale air out, and draws fresh oxygen in. Think of it like wringing out a sponge. And here's the twist. When he added just a few shoulder rolls while walking, even better. The tension in his chest started to melt. Within 2 weeks, his wheeze turned into breath. Not loud, not gasping, just quiet, clean breath. John didn't change his food, didn't take new pills, just walked and breathed every day. Sometimes healing is about movement, not medicine. So here we are. Maybe your lungs feel heavy. Maybe your breath isn't what it used to be. Maybe you've told yourself, it's just age. Everyone slows down. But listen carefully. That is not your body giving up. That's your body asking. For help, for care, for air. You don't need to climb mountains. You don't need a prescription pad. You don't even need to change your life overnight. You just need to start. 1 warm drink in the morning. 1 bowl of soup instead of a sandwich. 1 walk even to the mailbox and back. Because your lungs, they remember who you were. They remember running, laughing, breathing without thought. And they want that back. You're not broken. You're not too old. You're not past the point. Walter coughed up years of silence. Linda found her voice between spoonfuls. John walked his way out of the wheeze. And you, yes, you, can begin today. This is not a miracle. It's not overnight. But it is real, because the lungs, they forgive, they regenerate, they clear when we help them. So breathe in, deep. Feel that? That's life. Still here, still moving, still yours.